sometimes perseverance pays off. It's more about the personnel than the play call to me. Kansas, to me, I don't think they're a team that you can rely on.
Welcome to the Jboy Show, hosted by Jake Crane.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Thank you guys for hopping on, coming off the Super Bowl. Hope you were able to get some sleep after. I know a lot of people were probably groggy walking into work for multiple reasons. You know, maybe you stayed up late watching a movie, maybe enjoyed a few cold sodas, some nice food, some nachos, some wings, a little bit of everything, a little bit of pizza as well as we did. Joined, as usual, by David Cohn and Blaine Crane here. And we're going to get into the game and recap everything that happened, you know, some of the questionable play calling at the end, some special teams blunders as well. But I want to start with a story that I don't think is getting enough publicity. And in today's society, regardless if it's athletics, business, really in society in general, we're a want it now society. If I'm not getting it right now, then I'm upset. It's not what have you done for me lately, it's what are you doing for me tomorrow? And there's a guy in Matt Stafford, quarterback of the Rams. Do I think he's a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame with what he has right now? No. He's got one Pro Bowl, never's been all pro. You know, it has had a really good career, and you're helping cap that, not that he's done, with the Super Bowl championship. But sometimes perseverance pays off. You know, Matt Stafford was the number one overall pick. A lot of hype. We remember him at Georgia, how talented he was, has a howitzer attached to his arm, a little bit more mobile than people think. Had a ton of hype coming in. But he wasn't a guy when he went to the Lions, a dysfunctional organization. I think even Lions fans will tell you that. Regardless if it was year 1, year 2, year 3 on down the road and getting up in years in your career, because you only have a certain amount of time before that expiration date hits in a league like the NFL. You never heard him complain, never demanded a trade, never walked out of a meeting, held out of a game, went to the press, tried to go behind people's back. He did it the right way. And now, I don't have any problem with guys that want a better situation. Eli Manning didn't want to go to the Chargers. A lot of people don't talk about that anymore. But Matt Stafford, in today's football world, in today's sports society, professional and now looking into college, was kind of a different breed. Sometimes it pays off to be the tortoise. Matt Stafford went about his business. There was an opportunity to go to another place. He took that opportunity. Didn't go in there over-promising. Didn't go on ESPN and talk about how happy he was to be out of Detroit. Didn't burn any bridges on the way out. And now he gets rewarded with a Super Bowl championship. Is his game unbelievably flashy? No. Does he make a lot of questionable decisions sometimes? Yeah, not as much lately. But when you're playing for the Lions, you got to take chances. But he went about his business, was methodical, knew when it came down to it, who you had to get it to, and that's Cooper Kupp, and he was rewarded. But he's not really the only one on that Rams team. Andrew Whitworth, the oldest guy in the league, decided to come back and give it one more shot. All-Pro, Pro Bowl, one of the best tackles that you can have on the field and off the field, won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award this year, gets rewarded with a Super Bowl championship, and I'm sure he's going to retire soon. But there are a lot of guys that are like that on this Rams team. You know, Aaron Donald isn't the most out there personality. You know, you see him talking about the team and wanting to win and this, that, and the other, but he's not a guy that's going out there and going crazy on TikTok or making all sorts of headlines outside of being an all-pro for 7 straight years. Is he going to retire? That's another question. And I want to leave you with this. Not a lot of times do these Frankenstein teams win championships. What do I mean by Frankenstein team? A team that is a amalgamation of almost mercenaries. Typically doesn't work out. Remember the one and dones in college basketball? Outside of 2012, because Anthony Davis is from Zeta Reticula 4, you don't see a lot of championships, national championships, for college basketball teams that did the one and dones. Zion came up empty. Who typically wins it? Teams with experience, with old guards. Teams that are scrappy. Villanova come to mind. So it was interesting on one hand to see a Frankenstein team that was put together, because they went all in, the Rams did. No first-round picks till 2024. But they did it with a guy at quarterback, the most important position on the field, that is a walking testament to perseverance and maybe sometimes not overreaching on the PR standpoint is sometimes the best thing. And remember, sometimes the tortoise does beat the hare. Hell of a game, guys.
Man,
hell of a game.
Can we all just be grateful for a short amount of time that we got to witness a fantastic football
It was.
game?
I was happy.
I mean, serious. Down to the wire. Excellent game. Congratulations to Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, the entire Rams organization for winning a championship. Generally, I prefer college sports to professional sports. I think there's more passion in the college game.
More local feel.
But when I saw the Rams win that game last night and I watched Aaron Donald and Odell Beckham Jr. and Andrew Whitworth and Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford, when I watched these guys in their post-game interviews, I was like, that is legitimate right there.
Yeah.
That is a group of guys who set forth a mission and they accomplished it and they were fulfilled in doing so. Not about being happy. The Bengals would have been happy had they won. You're unhappy if you lose. Always, I get that. Not about being happy. They were fulfilled and accomplished a mission. It was really great to see, and I'm happy that we got to see a close ball game. But make no mistake, and congratulations to the Bengals too on an incredible season, hard fought. Underdogs every step of the way. Make no mistake, man, they're going to be a problem to deal with in the AFC for some time to come.
Yeah, you better start drafting some offensive linemen.
For sure.
Well, again, and I didn't want to come on here today and gloat. I don't want to come on here today. I didn't want to come on here today.
You were worried for 4 quarters.
I didn't want to come on here today and say I was the only one that picked the Rams. I didn't want to come on here today and say that on my closing statements Friday that, I'm just presenting the facts.
Yeah.
So what happened was the facts were presented.
Judge Crane.
We heard the story.
The facts for the Bengals weren't going to be able to
pulled in.
Bengals weren't going to be able to
Joey
run the ball.
Burrow's not going to lose a
ran the ball.
championship-style game. I gave the jury the facts. They went back and deliberated this weekend, and they came back with a verdict of Rams.
Were your facts just the final score? Was that your
No, that the Rams are going to win. There were a lot
the final
of people.
score? That was facts.
Before you go off on the Bengals, because I know you have some things to say.
I do
want to say one thing that surprised me was their run defense. The Rams could not run the football at all. I stood up here and said the Rams will probably be able to run. It just Cam Akers needs to hold
for a
the
lot
ball.
of that game, you would have thought the advantage up front was on the other side for the Bengals.
Absolutely.
You did see there were a couple series where they were able to get at Joe Burrow, but honestly, I would say 50% of those sacks, Joe Burrow held on the ball too long.
Held it too long in
He held on the
some
ball
instances.
too long.
Yep.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to play calling, right? And I think down the stretch, you could tell which coach was more comfortable calling plays. And that was Sean McVay, a guy who's been there before. And you got to go back to certain plays and certain moments in this game. All right, you come off Matt Stafford off his second interception, right? This could be a huge moment for the Bengals. Huge to carry it away, maybe get a 2-possession game. It's 3rd and 3. All right, it's 3rd and 3. You know you're not going to have a lot of time to get the ball off. So obviously the Bengals are getting the ball off quick. Okay, you go to your third option, and Tyler Boyd to run an option route. Gets locked up. Gets absolutely locked up and gets sacked. Cost you. All right, the D-line was just murdering you in every facet of football. All right, you ran 2 draws. All right, what hurts good D-lines? Draws and screens. You ran 2 draws, both hit for 10+. You ran 0 screens.
0 screens.
That didn't shock me.
You ran 0 screens. And then you get to the last possession. All right, and I don't understand this in any way. Everybody can say this about the refs, that refs didn't win the game, didn't lose in the game. It was fair on both sides. They weren't good. I can say a lot about refereeing.
If you're going to be bad, be consistently bad for both teams.
Okay, so you're averaging 4 yards a carry against this Rams defense, which nobody would have thought that was going to happen.
54 a game.
Nope, it's 3rd and 2. All right, first of all, why is your backup running back in the game?
Don't understand that either.
Why is your backup running back in the game? In shotgun, you get 1 yard. All right, it's 4th and 1. Your backup running back still in the game. You're in shotgun when you are averaging 4 yards a carry. 4 yards a carry. And you decide to try to throw an angle route to your backup running back when it was 4th and 1 for the Rams with Sean McVay. What did they do? What did they do? They put the ball in their best player's hands.
Yep.
That's what they did. And you can go and you can look at plays that just scratch your head and moments that matter. Sean McVay, when he knew when their backup was against the wall, he said, I got to find my guy. And they did a great job of moving Cooper Kupp all around the field. outside, inside, outside, inside. Because he's hard to double if he's hard to find.
True.
Jamar Chase, basically almost the whole game, played outside receiver.
So they put a Where's Waldo with Cooper.
Well, the one guy's act like he's been there before.
Well, they doubled him all in that last drive, and Cooper was still making catches.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, and we talked about this the other day in basketball. When it comes down to it, like you're saying, and it's time, it's more about the personnel than the play call to me. It's more, and if you can't get 3rd and 1 and then 3rd and 1.5 and then 4th and 1 running the ball, I don't think you deserve to win anyway. But how the hell is Joe Mixon not running that ball?
Yeah.
How are you not putting that ball
under center,
I don't care if you got to call timeout.
4th and 1, you line up in shotgun, it might as well be 4th and 5. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about it. I don't care. You can say it's the modern evolution of the game. Get under center and run the football, run it at whoever you have to run it at. And we've been saying
this the whole time. This isn't it didn't work last night.
No,
so,
exactly.
But again, my problem is more with the personnel than the play call. I would have been fine. If I was a Bengals fan, I would have been fine. I could have at least slept if it was 3rd and 1.5 and you gave it to Joe Mixon and it was 4th and inches and then, A'Shawn Robinson, who is 100% alien or from Mordor, which I guess really would make him an alien. But you could sleep with that.
Yeah.
To me, you let your backup shoot the game-winning shot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you did. And then Joe Burrow almost completed that last pass.
Really
if that guy gets his head around,
if you go back and look at it, Jamar Chase absolutely roasted.
How do you not get it to
Jamar Chase absolutely roasted.
How do you not get it to Jamar Chase or Joe Mixon? I don't understand.
And then you go
hold my hand like a small child in Target that you don't want to run away and explain to me. And Eric Taylor did a great job with the team this year. I think he did. I'm going to ask Blaine in a second what he would say to Eric Taylor.
Zac Taylor
right now. Zac Taylor. Keep saying Eric Taylor. I think it's that's either a singer or one of the guys that follows me on Twitter that I love.
Yeah,
Zac Taylor. I don't understand how you don't get it to Jamar or Joe. Either one of them.
Yeah.
You're handing your backup running back, and then we talk about red zone. And the red zone's all about what? Play calling. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. All right, it's squeezed. It gets tight down there. It's about play calling. What do you have in the bank that's ready to go? Sean McVay was 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Ready to ride, ready to go. Whatever it needed to be, he had the play call. Bengals were 1 for 3. And the game
what was the one? It was a halfback pass. The only I'm not going to get to that. I almost did it.
Okay.
I almost did it.
But that's what it comes down to. That's when you get paid. In the red zone, in the Super Bowl. That's when you got to earn your money. And you didn't earn your money, and you go back and look at it, and it goes back to the same thing. First of all, that drop by Tyler Boyd and that drive before the Rams came out and scored, that was huge. A veteran guy dropping a huge pass. But this is where you get paid. And I go to Zac Taylor, that's fine. You're 16-32 as a head coach. You go back to last year, you didn't do great. I know Joe got hurt. Let's not act like you're a phenomenal coach. This is like almost you're coaching the Heat before they had LeBron James. And the next thing you know, you get to LeBron James.
So, all right, so let me ask you this.
So you're
let me ask you this.
Coach now?
Let me ask you this. Then we can move on to the next segment. Let me ask you this. You're the owner right now for the Bengals. You called Zac Taylor in. He walks in. He sits down. What's the first thing you say to him?
You blew it. You choked. That's the first thing I say. You choked. Wow. You choked calling plays, and it's blatantly down the stretch. You can see it. Guys.
He said you blew it. That'd be devastating to Zac. That's devastating.
You're telling me you can generally look me in the eyes and be like, how are you going to answer this? Why wasn't Joe Mixon in the game?
I get it. There are some important questions that need to be answered. At the same time, I don't think he should be relieved of his duties.
I'm not saying he should be fired, but I'm saying you blew it late in the stretch calling plays.
I seem to remember with that Heat team, on a quick aside here, I seem to remember that they already had Dwayne Wade before they got LeBron, and they brought in Chris Bosh. It wasn't just a LeBron situation, right? It had to form a big three. We'll get to that some other time.
We'll talk about that.
Important guys, the bus driver.
We have some clips of Cooper Kupp on the final drive.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask you, did Cooper Kupp have the greatest season a wide receiver's ever had?
He did.
I mean,
he did.
Seriously.
I mean, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. And not only did you have great numbers, you won the Super Bowl. And you did it in the biggest moment.
I have something here.
You did it in the biggest moment.
Cooper Kupp is the second receiver after Jerry Rice to achieve the Triple Crown, okay, Offensive Player of the Year, and Super Bowl MVP. But Jerry Rice did those things throughout his career. Cooper Kupp did it in one season.
It's the greatest season a receiver has ever had. I think all the other receivers would say that. What else can you do?
Yeah.
What else can you do? And get a cure for cancer halfway through the year?
Yeah, he's working on it.
Yeah, he's probably already got it. So let's run some of those clips. When it comes down to it, it's more about the personnel than the play call. Let's roll Cooper Kupp, absolutely just disintegrating the Bengals when it matters the most. 4th and 1. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give him the jet sweep. Nice cut here. You know, he's so good after the catch, too. I know that was a jet sweep there, but people don't realize how good he is after the catch. He's really elusive. You know, he's quicker than a hiccup. Here you go. You're going to go at little 10 personnel. Look, when it comes down to it, man, 2nd and 10, we got to get it 3rd and manageable. Everybody in the city knows where this ball is going.
How about this laser?
I hope Zac Taylor's.
How about this laser?
Oh, look, Matt hasn't, like I said, he's got a howler for his hatch. But you find those guys when it matters most. Here we go. The 9th play from the goal line here. We're going to run it? No. Little back shoulder fade.
He already scored before that, too.
And got creamed. It shows you Cooper Kupp, you know, he's got moves. He can be flashy. He can hit the home run. And I know we always say being a tough guy, you know, it's not the first compliment you want to give, but he took an absolute shot in the end zone on the offsetting penalties. An absolute shot. Got up.
Slow motion.
Yeah, let's get it in slow-mo right here. Let's go in slow-mo. Let's roll the clip. Little inside out.
Midline
Looks
right
like a fade. Oh, that's a great ball by Matty Ice.
Wow.
The real Matty Ice.
If you're a receiver, you see his first step, he gets into the middle of them.
Yeah, what do we say?
Midline. If you're a DB at that point, when he gets to that midline, you don't know which way he's going to go. And Matt knows where he's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And now on the other hand, Blaine, as you mentioned, it's 4th and 1. Cone, we're in the gun. Don't understand it. Again, to me, that tells me you are throwing it.
You're throwing your back out the running back in, and you're going to split your running back out on an angle route and not help to chip Aaron Donald. And look who makes the play.
This is the difference. Let's roll the clip. Game on the line. Game on the line. We're going to run. Oh, my gosh. You got to protect. You got to protect right there. But again, the play before that, you give it to your backup running back. Aaron Donald's like, you know what? I want to win the Super Bowl. Or I'm up against knives. That doesn't scare me. Spain, I know he was a guy that they picked up and they had struggled on the offensive line, but Aaron Donald just showed you why he's Aaron Donald and you're not.
Well, you solo block Aaron Donald on 4th and 1.
After they had been
I'm telling
such
you,
a great job.
They had a lot of questions
that
that need to be answered if Zac Taylor was said. First of all, you run it right at him with our backup running back when Joe Mixon's just been tearing him up all day on the ground. And then you solo block him with a guy who probably couldn't block me to throw it out to Samaje Perine? Like in your thought process,
as like an arrow that he
as a coach, which I was, you think your thought process is moving. You already know what you want to do. You thought of this, and you decided in your head, we should do this. That's what scares me the most. That's what scares me the most, that you convince yourself that you looked at Jamar Chase and look at Samaje Perine, you're like, yeah, let's go here.
Yeah,
let's go right here.
Let's go Samaje. No, I don't think you're wrong. When it comes down to it, you know, like we brought up earlier, when it's crunch time, when it's time to go, when it's time to roll, when it's the most important moments, you got to go to your dogs. You got to go to your dogs because at least you can sleep at night. But like you said, Cone, off the rip, I'm just glad we got a really good game.
For sure.
I was shocked it didn't go into overtime. After the Rams scored that touchdown, and then the Bengals got the ball back with, like a minute 30? I was like, look, this game's going to overtime, and then we get to yell about overtime rules.
Since their kicker can make it from about anywhere. Honestly, if you knew you weren't going to get it on 4th and 1, maybe just give him a shot from
You might as well give Evan a shot.
See what happens.
I mean, look, if anybody was going to do it, I mean, that dude is been on fire. But a hell of a game. You feel for the Bengals, but you also got to love it for Matt Stafford and Andrew Whitworth, like you brought up. But
and I never actually changed my pick in the book, even though I said it.
See,
so
you can't triple stamp, double stamp.
On a dodgeball technicality.
Yeah, it's a bylaw.
Quickly, how about this? Best of the best and worst of the worst Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, I love that. I just want to say overall, I thought the commercials were meh.
Yeah.
Again.
They have been.
Again. And I think it's because we're so worried about people getting offended, honestly.
Okay.
I think that's got a little bit to do with it, which sucks because that's one of the few, really the only show I like to watch that I'm like, man, the commercials are coming. I'm going to stay here and watch the commercials.
They were better than last year's.
Last year's were good.
There's been a string of a few years where not one stood out to me as memorable or amusing. Yeah. So at least this year they were slightly better, I thought.
They're better this year than last year. Last year I was
not as good as when we were kids. Are we wrong?
no.
Remember the
Well, it was
hilarious.
It was somewhat newish.
was it? Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything new is always almost.
Well, let's get into best and worst. Cone, you go first.
Okay, so I mean I don't want to steal what you guys had because I had a list here. First of all, I'll start with the worst just to get them out of the way. All of the VR spots. Stop trying to put us in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Make us batteries, okay? All right. Meta, you're not the one. You see what I did there? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into the
red
VR.
man, the red
Give me
man
that
with
one,
you.
all right? Not down for that. But there were some great ones, man. I really like Jim Carrey as the cable guy.
That was
I
fun.
think you're going to talk about Larry David, so I'll let
Yeah.
you do that because that was unbelievable. All the crypto spots were good.
The
The
smartest
QR
one
code?
was the QR code they did.
The
and
QR code?
it probably didn't cost them anything to make.
No. I mean,
I did it. I want to know what it was.
Bro, he ran up to the
Apparently,
TV. I'm like, what is a
at
QR
404
code?
error coded and quit working.
Oh, really?
Really?
Wow. The Caesar salad and the avocados from Mexico.
That was a good one.
I
The
heard they're
tail-
not
yeah.
importing them anymore as of today for some
Yeah.
political reasons or whatever. And then I think you're going to get to the Dr. Evil. So you guys just tell me what you thought.
All right, Blaine.
No, yeah, definitely the Dr. Evil one,
It was.
hands down, was
like,
the
you
best.
know what, Scott?
To me, it was
It
just,
just-
I
you
miss
don't
You
it.
don't get it.
I
You
miss
don't.
it, dude. I miss Mike Myers.
Make another one.
Why not? I'd make another one, Slayers. Worst was a Toyota commercial because they literally legitimately didn't say one thing about a car.
Yeah.
How are you going to tell me something then not tell me?
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
I didn't know what they were talking about until the end.
Yeah.
And I really
They
still
didn't get you
know
with the heartstrings? Just
No,
tug
I
on
just,
those?
I just want to know, does it drive good?
Yeah,
You
does
know,
it go
everything work
forward,
in the car?
backwards?
Is it
Stop.
electric like all the other car
Yeah.
commercials?
Yeah, something.
They were pushing,
Give me
they were
something.
pushing that one hard. They were pushing that one hard. All right. My best one was, I thought the Larry David commercial where they were going
gold.
back through like his lineage and all the greatest ideas of all time.
Yeah.
Like that, like the light bulb. He's like, look, Edison, it's
Not going to work.
not going to work. But like, I don't like it. So I thought that was fantastic. The worst one was the Goats one, the Disney movie Goats. I see what they were trying to do in saying the greatest movies of all time. I didn't like it. I thought it was, I thought it was lazy. You mean to tell me all the money y'all spent on that? Y'all sat in a room and were like, what if we just dressed all our movie characters up like goats? Like, get that man $1 million raise instantly. So that was the one, but I just wish, they weren't so afraid on some of these commercials. I wish they would, not kind of fall back to the default of, I'm not okay, you're not okay, but that's okay. So, again, meh. Overall in the commercials, but, we'll see how they do next year.
Larry David said, and I'm never wrong about
Jerry,
this.
it's like, listen, I've got a great feel on this. I'm never wrong on this.
All right, yeah. Before we move to college basketball, okay, in this week's edition of #GetOffMyLawn,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Get angry.
I don't understand the obsession with
Torino
the
around here.
halftime performance. Okay, I don't get it. It's a lip sync spectacle. Okay, I don't get it, Blaine.
It was good.
I don't understand.
The halftime performance
I don't
was
understand.
good.
I think it's mostly for
It reminded
people
me of
who
my
aren't
childhood.
entertained enough by football. They want to be. They still want to come to the
Who
party.
would you
but-
rather have been in the
It's not about. It's almost not about
Fleetwood
the.
Mac.
It's not.
I want the Commodores.
It's almost not about who it was. It's sort of like all of them are lip sync. I didn't. I wasn't motivated. I
So
didn't
if
feel
they weren't- if
anything.
they weren't
I didn't feel it.
lip-syncing.
I could have just watched a blank screen, a black screen at halftime, and I would have felt the exact same thing. Honestly,
you're
and
telling
this,
me-
this
You
comes
didn't
from
get
somebody-
hyped for
This
Drake
comes from
when-
somebody. I used to be obsessed with hip hop. I could spit out every single Eminem lyric and the uncensored versions. Okay. So it's less to do about that. But yeah, I would have been more moved if Chris Stapleton went up there and sang his cover of Amanda a cappella.
So you're
I
telling me
swear
when
to God.
Eminem came on, you didn't start doing this?
I did.
You didn't lose yourself for a
and then, but then he ruins it by taking a
When
knee. at
75
him.
Cent
was he
came
just
on-
paying a tribute to Tim Tebow, or
I
was
heard
it?
it was Tebow.
When 75 Cent came on, was
75, dude, they gave that guy hell. But see, 50 screwed up the lip sync.
50's put
But,
on.
hey,
50's put on a little bit.
Here's
50
the
put on 50?
consensus is out though. Clearly, it was the greatest piece of entertainment since Maximus Decimus Meridian
People, well, listen,
conquered the
people
Colosseum.
trying to compare that to Prince's performance, not even
Thank
close.
you. That's the thing. Maybe it was less about
I
the
do
halftime.
not remember that performance.
Maybe it was less
Well, yeah,
about
you're
the
like
actual
14.
performance and more about people's reaction of it. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
You're more upset about that.
But I
the
think you're more upset
implication
about
that you have to immediately tweet out that it's the greatest halftime performance of all time, or else you don't believe it, or you're not cool, or something. No, it's
I think
not.
it was more about the people that were in it and it being in LA and kind of.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are from LA. They had a great
I would never turn down a Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Look, I saw Red Hot Chili Pepper in Red Rocks. One of the best concerts.
one of
ever.
the best shows.
So you
I
saw
saw
it,
them
you
at
probably
Phillips
don't remember
Arena. Huh?
I'm talking to Blaine. Said he saw it in Red Rocks. Probably don't remember it.
Anyway,
That's the first time I met Brett Favre.
I've been outvoted, and I'm just an old
Tell him to
curmudgeon.
get off your lawn.
I'm an old curmudgeon.
Get off
my lawn.
And that's this week's episode of
yeah,
Hashtag
get off my lawn. No, I love it. But let's move to some college hoops because there's some great action.
Great games. Great games. I mean, we have, wherever you want to start, Houston lost to Memphis.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay.
You have a problem.
What is the
You
problem?
lost to SMU. I get it. You know, you were up big. It was there. Huge game for them. Needed it. I get losing one. But then you come home, and I know Memphis has been playing better ever since Penny Hardaway, you know, kind of went on that little diatribe during the press conference. But that's a bad loss. And Houston, look, Kelvin Sampson done a great job. I know Sasser's out. They've had some guys beat up. He's done a really good job of getting that group to regroup. But they know who they are now. Like, there are no excuses now. It's not having to recalibrate after somebody went down. But when I look at Houston, I do question offensively. You know they're going to play good defense most of the time. Kelvin Sampson does a really good job there. But I wonder offensively, is Houston a team, you know they're going to be in the tournament. You know, you're looking at seeding and certain situations. But are they a team that you can rely on not to, you know, for lack of a better term, screw you in one portion of the bracket if you want to take a flyer on them? You know, even if they had won out with what they were going, I think people would have kind of underestimated them in the tournament. I think they may have been a team that, you know, you kind of take a shot on. And I know teams go through rough patches and stuff like that. But now you look at Houston, is that momentum starting to deteriorate a little bit? Are they starting to kind of take the invisibility cloak off a little bit? And you're like, Harry Potter!
Yeah.
It was him the whole time. So what do you guys think?
Well, like we say, it's not so much about losing in college basketball because very few teams are going to go undefeated. It's when you lose and how you lose. This isn't a good time to be losing, especially back-to-back when you're trying to build that momentum. And this was a loss at home, so that's not really great for a team that's supposed to really be able to win the tournament.
And you're not in a great conference, let's be honest.
Yeah,
you're
and
not...
the SMU loss, which was on the road against a pretty good SMU team, you were still up by 15 and lost. So those things don't bode well for Houston for me.
It's just, man, college basketball, I do think college basketball, refereeing-wise, is one of the hardest sports to referee.
It is. It's happening.
But, you know,
it's tough.
Some of these games, I mean, you go to the line, you get 11 more shots at the free throw line. In games like this, where it's tight like this, you go through these stats. It basically shot almost the same percentage, right? Rebounded the same way, the same amount of turnovers. And it goes back, you know, how many times you go to the line, right? And you go to 10 to 12 times more in the line than somebody, that'll dictate games. You kind of go back to the Auburn-Arkansas game. Arkansas went to the line, I think, 20 more times.
Went to the line 14 times in overtime, I think?
Yeah, the 14 times, like these games, and that's what's scary. I'm not saying it's all on the refs, but, you know, I realistically can't sit here and ask, what's pass interference? Can you tell me what that is? What's a foul in basketball? It scares me because sports are getting, people are getting better, like athletes are getting better at sports.
I would say,
and referees are getting worse.
Yeah, I would say in the college basketball front, it's more about block charge. I think that's the one where, I mean, and to me, I think you see a lot of home court teams get a lot more charges in their favor. But what bothers me, and I don't want to not talk about Memphis in this. It's a huge win for Penny Hardaway. I mean, I was, you know, not trashing him, but on Twitter, you know, kind of called him out a little bit because they'd been underperforming since he got there. But you know, good for him. They have talent. We knew they had talent. This team beat Bama. You know, we know he has pieces there. They just haven't been playing together and playing well. Now they're starting to get some momentum, really putting themselves in the them and Rutgers have really come from the depths.
Rutgers is
from
hotter.
6 feet dead. Rutgers is hotter than Hansel at the Male Model Awards right now. So Memphis is scary because they're playing well. You talk about momentum. You know, they need to keep winning games. They need to make a run in their conference tournament, I think, to go ahead and secure a seed. Rutgers, we're going to get to later. But another team that Blaine almost called this upset.
Yeah.
Almost called it. That I'm still skeptical hippo about a little bit is Kansas. You know, Oklahoma plays Kansas weirdly well. I don't understand it really 100%, but they tend to play Kansas really well. Groves was hitting from outside. We know Goldwire, how good he is. Kansas was down, came back. Christian Braun, really good player. You know, Abaji, we know what he is. But Kansas, to me, there's just still something missing. And
Right.
Even though they were up and blew the lead, speaking of Oklahoma still had a shot at the end, got a pretty good look from 2 to send it to overtime after a couple big missed free throws. But Kansas, to me, is another team that you know they're going to be a 2 or 3 seed most likely. But do you really believe in them? If they run into somebody that is legitimate and McCormick's not healthy, They could get put out of the tournament early.
Yeah, I really think so. And this hasn't changed my opinion on this Kansas team. The reason I like this Oklahoma team is because they shoot well, but they play good defense.
They have the best, some of the best defensive guards, maybe the best defensive
guards. They play really good defense, but this Kansas team, it kind of goes what you're saying earlier. You look at them and it just feels like something's missing, right? And you go back to the big games, the big teams they play. I look at what happened against Kentucky, and it wasn't even close. Right. And when I know Kentucky's one of the best teams playing right now.
At home.
Getting better at home, but against a real opponent, right? And if Abaji's not going, and you try to rely on McCormick or Lightfoot if you're Kansas, you better be worried if you run into a team in the tournament that's shooting well, all right? Because if they're shooting well, Kansas is just not the type of team, and I know they did it in this game, but it's going to come back. The offense, they just bring it back.
Again, you're at home. We're talking about neutral court in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Where it's not, and I know Kansas travels well, but it's different. You're used to playing in that court. You shoot in that gym all the time. Same ball. So, which is another thing. Why they use different balls, it just doesn't make sense. But Kansas, to me, I don't think they're a team that you can rely on. I saw something the other day on a show that I got a lot of respect for. Who's the better team, Kansas or Kentucky? What?
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
They came to your house.
They came to your house, walked in, made you cook a steak, grabbed your remote, and turned on their favorite TV show.
Yeah.
So we've got to stop. I think, it's weird to still say we're part of the media, but I think a lot of people in the media don't do a good job of, you know what the default is? It's the head-to-head. That's the tiebreaker. If you want to know the answer, not only did they played at Kansas, and Kentucky beat their ass to sleep. And it could have been worse. It could have been, they got deboed. Give me your bike, give me your chain, give me your wallet, and we're leaving. So Kansas, to me, I don't believe it. Blaine, I am really starting to come over to your side on this. And you have been, from the jump, you have been saying it, and I'm really starting to believe it. I do, Auburn beat A&M at home. They should have. A&M, couldn't hit water if they fell out of a helicopter in the ocean. But Walker Kessler.
Wow.
This guy?
12
he
blocks.
blocked more guys than Mark Zuckerberg, man.
12 blocks, man.
12
I had to look up what the record was.
Half.
If you're Auburn, you better enjoy him while you got him. Because he keeps playing better and better.
He's making himself more money every night. He's still Jenny from the block.
He's a first rounder now. And he's still figuring it out offensively. And I still don't think Auburn gets him the ball enough in the post.
I don't think they do.
Jabari.
But he's really not a guy that's going to back you down.
But
and
he can,
but to me, coming off the pick and roll, in transition, him hitting a couple threes, but it changes that length. And look, there's a lot of big guys in college basketball.
Yeah.
There are a lot of 6'9", 6'10". I mean, Walker's 7'1", that's a little different. But the feel you have to
That's
have.
the thing. It's
That's
not
the
just
difference.
about his height, man. He does everything so well. Yeah. And to block that many shots, it's more than just about being tall. I mean, you clearly have to, that means you're not going up for a lot of pump fakes, too.
That's another thing, keeping your feet. But when you're 7'1", you really don't have to jump.
I get it.
Well, he's athletic and he's really good at anticipating.
Yes,
and landing. That's hard to find.
He trusts himself to land. That's something Bruce Pearl actually talked about. A lot of big guys get nervous jumping up in the air because they have trouble landing. The bigger the plane, the harder it is to land. So he does a really good job of being able to land and not put himself in harm's way. But another game in the SEC that lived up to the hype, Alabama and Arkansas. Came down to the end. J.D. Notae, look, he's their guy. Could they have gotten a better shot? Probably. Should he have kicked it to Jalen Williams at the top off the double team? Probably. But if you're Arkansas, you're coming off the big win at home against number 1 Auburn. You're going to be in the tournament. This was going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Alabama, not that they needed it really badly, but this is one, for seeding purposes, whether you're being a 4 or a 5 to put yourself in a position to make a run. Alabama needed this one at home. What was it perfect from Alabama? No. Does J.D. Davidson look like he's starting to figure it out a little bit? Interested that he started this game, and Juzan Holt is a guy they've brought in who's giving him really good minutes off the bench defensively, hit a big 3. Alabama got up, 13, Cone?
13.
And let Arkansas come back. But Arkansas is a scrappy team. This was just a really good basketball game. Alabama, big win for them. But if you're Arkansas, you can't panic. You get Kentucky at home. I believe you get Tennessee at home. What do you think about Arkansas in the tournament?
I still think Arkansas can do some damage. And the story in this game right here to me was J.D. Notae in the first half. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes, was held scoreless, after a 28-point performance against Auburn at home, was held scoreless in the first half because of those 2 fouls. But why does someone have 2 fouls? because you're playing them the right way. So kudos to Alabama. Also, down the stretch, when they needed the big buckets, it wasn't Shackelford going in there and getting them like we know he can.
Yeah.
Noah Gurley.
He's the guy they've been waiting on.
Points.
Been waiting on the world to change.
Points. But look, I still think that J.D. Note is one of the greatest basketball players in this country. I think given a shot in the tournament, they could make some noise.
And must want to get fired up. My thing, Blaine, talking about the officials. God, they called this game close. I mean, you couldn't get away. And Alabama and Arkansas are going to be running. It's going to be physical. But for both sides, it was very touchy.
Well, that's the thing about it. You watch a basketball game, and it can go to, it looks like a football game, and it looks like a ballet recital. You can't touch anybody. See, I just want to be able to find the in-between or where we should be. And it's not about the ones they call referees. It's about the ones they don't call, right? That's kind of blatant and obvious. And there's a weird line right now between blocks and charges that needs to get figured out. Because you're seeing, I would love to see the percentage of amount of charges that are happening this year to last year.
And the freedom of movement, too. You could throw that out of the way. Remember 2 years ago, they were like, oh, we're going to give them freedom of movement and stuff like that. I'm watching half these games now. There ain't no damn freedom of movement. And I don't want the game to be bogged down by a bunch of calls. But, and it's tough. I get it. Yep. These guys are flying through the air. That's too, Father Pat. It's tough. It's tough to call it. But there has to be some modicum of consistency, or
especially within the game. That's the thing. It's frustrating when it's not consistent from game to game. Okay, that's bad enough. But as long as it's consistent within that game, that's fair for both teams. That's what's most important.
You think it's hard to watch? Imagine having to play.
I know.
You don't know. Imagine how tough it is as a player. Do I go up? Am I going to initiate contact? Body position wise, is this going to be a charge? The only thing that I know is the half circle around the bottom. The foul area that you can't take a charge in. That's the only thing you can look at and say, okay, that was not a charge because he's in the restricted area. So
I think
it's got to be better.
The cylinder rule, too.
The cylinder rule
needs to come back. You're seeing a lot, if you get smaller guys on bigger guys, they're just in their cylinder.
They are. Well, they're putting hands on them, and then if you try and get them off of them, it's an offensive foul. So
you can't do
it's more about the consistency. And look, I don't want to sit here and be tedious about the referees. You can always find something to complain about with the officials. But I think a lot of fans have watched games, regardless of what team they're rooting for, and like, this is just bad both ways.
Yep.
It's just,
I agree.
It's just not good. But we've got some more great basketball this week, and we're going to preview the games tomorrow. Don't have a ton of great ones tonight. Virginia Tech. I do like Virginia plus 4.5. I like that over. Got it at 118.5. We'll see there. So we're marching toward March, pun intended.
Another thing, USC had a nice win over UCLA.
That's right.
I didn't watch that one, but that's a great win for them without Mobley.
Yeah.
They beat them without Mobley.
UCLA has fallen off a cliff.
I just don't get it. And Tiger Campbell still had 27, but Juzang, Jaquez, they're not showing.
Well, if you're UCLA, I know Tiger Campbell can score, but you really don't want him being the leading scorer.
Exactly.
What makes them dangerous is his ability to facilitate, drive, and kick.
Yep.
Johnny Juzang's the guy you look at me like, oh, he got 34.
Yes.
Jaquez got 27, whatever. But if Tiger Campbell's having to carry you offensively, then you're going to be in trouble.
And then also E.J. Liddell for Ohio State.
Yeah.
As far as Michigan was concerned, he might as well have been Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
He had 28 points. And, power forward, went 11 for 11 from the free throw line.
He's a pro, man.
What a fantastic performance.
He's going to be, his game is.
Like I say, you don't just waltz into Chrysler Arena. Well, he did.
But, dude, Michigan, we got not gassed him up, but we were going to see, can that team show up again? And not only did you lose a big one, you lost it to Ohio State.
This wasn't that surprising, even though Hunter Dickinson is a fantastic player.
Best Dickinson since Emily.
Best Dickinson since Emily on both ends of the floor. So I'm not surprised that Michigan lost the game. I'm just a little bit surprised that E.J. Liddell was able to do whatever he wanted, even against Hunter Dickinson. And he really did all game. But a great performance there. Anything else from the basketball world?
Yeah, man, I think we got it about right. Speaking of world, you want to go around?
Let's go around the world. Who's up?
Let's go, Blaine.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. I like this one. The best player ever to play basketball in the world and history. LeBron James.
What'd Mike do?
Passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most total points in NBA history.
That's a
congrats
lot.
to GOAT. Congrats.
I can't even. I'm not even gonna. It'd be disrespectful for me to even talk trash about him. That's an incredible story.
That is. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What do you base on being the best player?
That's not only a complete segment. That's a complete show, and it's one that really never ends because it's our life.
Yeah,
okay?
and you can't compare eras like that because the game's so different. That's what I'm saying. You can't. It's like, all right, that man.
Because I want to love you, and it's Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like this Notre Dame team. I don't know how they compare to the 1931 National Championship Notre Dame team.
All right, I'll go here. Around the world, Adrian Peterson, a little bit of trouble this weekend. Domestic violence, was arrested on an airplane. We'll keep track of the story. Look, he was a fantastic ball player. Hopefully, it's nothing too. Hopefully, it was.
Let the facts come out.
Let the facts come out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But like we said, whatever happened, and the facts do come out, then the punishment, if there's punishment, should be according to that. So anyway, wanted to at least tell the people about that. But more positive note, Van Jefferson, a Rams wide receiver, won the Super Bowl last night at 7 p.m., and then his wife welcomed their second child into the world at 9 p.m.
What a great
Have yourself a night,
Have
man.
a night.
Right there.
Goodness.
Does it get better than that?
That is cool.
Going from holding the Super Bowl trophy to holding your son, man. Come on.
Yeah, man.
That is cool.
Okay, that is a cool one. That's tough to follow. All right, my Around the World, Super Bowl edition. Shocker, I know everybody. It's like I play at Wichita State. Google it. It'll make sense. Joe Mixon was the first player from Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, to throw a touchdown pass in the game. And not you, Baker Mayfield. You're too busy living at the Brown Stadium.
In the game or in history?
In history, in the Super Bowl.
Okay. So
the only Oklahoma player to throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. That shocked me. And also, you may have to fact check me on this one. Clemson had never had, a player from Clemson had never had a sack in the Super Bowl until last night. I couldn't believe that.
Really, Vic
Well,
Beasley?
Clemson just started getting good, realistically.
Well, Clemson, I mean, they won
Vic
a natty
Beasley
under
did the
Danny
Falcons,
Ford. I mean,
yeah.
they've had some tradition. A lot of people say it's Auburn with a leg.
What about our boy, Grady Jarrett?
Did Grady play at Clemson?
Did Grady play? I thought
We'll have to look it up. No, but that was the first Clemson player to get a sack. Joe Mixon was the first Oklahoma player to throw a touchdown pass in the national championship, and he plays running back.
That's incredible.
And he plays running back, so I thought that was really
Who they
cool.
had. Sam Bradford back in the day. All these guys never had one.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray might go and get him one.
I don't know. Well, yeah, if he didn't go play baseball, it's a tease for tomorrow.
Oh, no.
No, but we appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Cone, Blaine, great job. Hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. Got a great week of college basketball. Got huge college basketball preview coming tomorrow as we are marching toward March. As I said, I'm going to use that multiple times. But like the NFL season and football season, even though it really never ends, but technically, like football season,
You blew it, Zac Taylor.
Gone. And also, Blaine was wrong about the game.